behind you. This was not what I was expecting when we signed the lease. The expectation was that there were two well-maintained and functioning automatic waterers. That was one of the things that was important to us when we signed the lease. That's how this place was presented to us. In June of 2019, it was already promised that these waterers would be serviced and cleaned and made available to us in good working order. It still hasn't happened. It wasn't done. The waterer eventually disappeared in the weeds. I had to basically excavate the whole site. I was the one cleaning the darn thing, and I'm filling water troughs because my horses don't trust the waterer. Lo and behold, why did we request a servicing? There's an issue with these waterers. We found a defective heat cable in there. This is a piece of equipment. It has mechanical parts to it, and it has some plumbing, it has electrical. These machines, just like a vehicle, need to be maintained and serviced on a regular basis. And when I say a regular basis, it's like maybe once a year. You open it up, you clean it thoroughly, you see if everything is still working properly, you look at all the parts and see if anything needs to be replaced, if there's any problem, and you put it all back together and you're good to go. It takes a qualified person that knows about these machines, maybe half an hour, maybe an hour. And then you know that this valuable piece of equipment will function properly for the next year. When you don't service these machines, they deteriorate. They just start to wear. This is heavily used by cattle previously. Now it's going to be used by horses. Things do break. There is wear and tear, and you need to keep an eye on those things and be ready to replace a small part. For instance, here's the $17 or less theme again. And then you have a machine that works properly, that is a joy, that makes life easier. So when I noticed yesterday that the horses were very, very hesitant to be drinking, and I could tell they were thirsty, and they were hanging around, and they were looking, but they didn't dare touch the water, which is very, very strange. Yes, sure, this is something they've never seen before. It's different. It's bright red and yellow. The bowls are fairly small. But my horses are not, they're not scaredy cats. So I knew something was not right. And then when Jeff opened it, he found a defective cable in there that should have been found in this routine maintenance that never happened. Leave him alone, sweetie. Yeah, you tell her. You tell her. Go away. this needs to be looked at. This needs to be looked at by somebody that either knows these machines well or a licensed electrician, because something was not right and could be potentially very, very dangerous. What if something inside here is shortening out and an animal gets electrocuted when they have a sip of water? I mean, that would not only be a tragedy, it would be a liability. Especially if the people that are paying for the privilege of using the facility with these automatic waterers told you, even before we moved our animals, that these machines need to be serviced. And then that never happened. And then we asked again, and then it still didn't happen. And yes, they replaced some part apparently in the waterer in the barn, but it's still absolutely freakishly filthy and caked in mineral, and things are not looked after, not on this property. And when I look over the fence, it doesn't look very encouraging either. And why? Why is nobody looking after things? And who is supervising this? This needs to be dealt with before the weather turns, because if the heater doesn't work, then this will freeze and then my horses can't drink over the winter. So, is somebody going to look after this or what?